Hey, what's up guys? So I found a design trend on Amazon and it is selling pretty good, especially on t-shirts, and I thought I should share with you my process of approaching these kind of design, of creating such the similar type of you can say the style, and to inspire you that you can also easily create these kind of designs. Now if you're interested in that, let's get started. So guys, here on Amazon page I have searched for the messy hair bun for the t-shirts, and you can see by the look of these BSR values that these designs are selling pretty good. And some of these t-shirts have a little bit higher BSR values, but others have pretty low BSR values. But the main design is that our just a hair bun with some kind of bandana, and these kind of bandanas are actually based on different kind of niches themes. For example, this one has a flag, this one has a leopard print, and this one is more like, I think it's musical thing, headphones, something like that. So these type of designs can be cross-niched with different kind of other niches, and you can of course scale them up according to your already existing niches or any future niches. For example, holidays, sports, any kind of other things. So if I just scroll down a bit more, you can see the BSR values and different kind of designs that can help you inspire to create your own. Now what I'm going to create here in this video is this messy hair bun, not exactly like that, just a hair with the bandana and maybe some sunglasses, just like that. And it looks a little bit difficult, but as I will show you that how would I approach it, how would I just divide it, or just make it simple into simple pieces and try to work on one particular thing and then move on to the bigger picture. So let's get started with the design. Actually, before I show you the design, I'm going to show you some of the Google search images that I have just done to show you how I would approach it to get you inspired. Now you can easily go to the some of these free websites like Unsplash, Pixabay, and try to find these messy hair bun reference images. But I will just search for Google images, because the trick that I'm going to show you, the way that I'm going to design it, is not going to give you any kind of copyright issues or copyright problem. Now I'm not recommending that you do this thing with every kind of design, but for this particular design you will see that why I have chosen the Google images and why it can be considered to be not copyright infringement or IP infringement, or just plain ripping off the design or tracing of the design. So what I'm looking here is for hair bun styles, especially this is the illustration style, and this is what this is the type of thing that I'm going to create. But I'm not going to use this one because it is already an illustration. I'm going to use something that is pretty good, just an image. So we have let's say this one is also good, but its forehead is much more visible as compared to the hair. This one can be used because the hair are much more area of the hair, and then the bun, but I don't like it because the bun is too big and the hair are more tidied up. We are looking for some kind of like a messy hair type of thing. And yeah, this one can be used because again the hair are not that messy, but we are going to create a messy style. So if I just for hair bun front view, you will also see some of the inspiration or reference images. So I'm just going to download this image and use it as a reference. So here inside Affinity Designer, I have created a document the size of much of Amazon t-shirt, and I have placed the image that I have just shown you. And what I'm going to do is to just create a silhouette of the hair, just a rough silhouette, not very close to it, because if I create a very close silhouette, it will be a copyright issue, which I don't not want. So let me just zoom in a bit, let's just lock it up, and then I'm going to use the pen tool to create a silhouette of the hair. Now first I'm going to create the silhouette of this hair on the head, and then I'm going to create a silhouette of this bun separately. So I'm just going to quickly use this pen tool to make silhouette like that. As you can see that I'm not following this thing exactly as it. I'm going to create some kind of like zigzag style, some kind of like a messy style look to it, something like that. And this looks fine, and let's say maybe like that, and maybe somewhat here, and maybe something like that here. and then try to follow it but not very close to it, and I think that looks fine. I think inside this one look much better like that. So you can see that I have just created a rough, you can say that, outline of this hair on this area, and then I'm going to create the same thing using this bun. I'm going to create a rough outlook, or you can say an outline of the hair, and I'm going to clean it up later on, but it is just to show you that we don't have to work that hard on creating these shapes, and we can just start with the rough shapes and then move on to the cleaning the process. So that's all I want from this image. I'm not going to use this image anymore. The only thing that I'm going to do is to just clean it up a little bit, so somewhat like that, and I'm going to move it down something like that so that both are aligned. So, and let's just make it black so that we can easily work on this. So you can easily see that this is much messier as compared to the other initial design, and but that's okay because this is what we wanted. We are going to create a messy look. So for now this looks fine. I'm going to create some other strands of hair and there, strands of hair here and there. Well, no pun intended. So I'm just going to make some strands appear on the side, going you can say that away from the main body of the hair, and it's just creating something rough looking, something like that. Fill it with white black color, then use the pen tool again, and maybe create some kind of hair stands from this location as well, maybe something like that. So you get the idea how I'm going to just make it look rough, make it look kind of like messy type of hair. So I'll just quickly draw the rest of the strands, and in this time lapse or speed art video, and I'll just show you what I can do with the rest of the design after that. So guys, our first shape is ready, or the shapes are ready. So I'm just going to select all of these, and let's just deselect this bun, and I'm going to just group them together so that we can easily manage it. Now I'm going to work on this bun shape and fill it with black color, maybe adjust its position like that somewhat here, and over the course I might adjust the lower shape as well, but for now I'm just going to work on the bun and make it more smooth, as it is more zigzag at this point, but I'm going to just make it a little bit more smooth and a little bit smaller. So you can see that what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to first try to see how it will wrap around. So this area here will be the major portion of the hair, so it will wrap around like that, and somewhat like that here, and other hair. You will see towards the end of the video what I mean. So I'm just reading some of the points which I think would not look good, so making it a little bit simple and still keeping this basic shape of the bun. So I think that looks fine. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create some kind of like a messy strands of hair coming out here and there, and I'll just speed up the process right now for you. So guys, our top bun part is also ready, so I'm just going to select all of these and group them together. So you can see that we have lower part and the upper part. Now of course I'm going to work a little bit more on the lower part to make it more smooth on this side area, on the forehead, and to make it look more beautiful and cute. And but before I do that, I'm going to show you how you can create those white areas here so that they look like hair. They are not just some black spots or just the silhouette. There should be some white areas. So let me just select both of these and lock these. So the way I'm going to work on these is this. I'm just going to use the pen tool, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to create kind of like a crescent shapes here, and then fill them with white color. So this will make them look like kind of like strands of hair combined together or something like that. You get the idea what I mean. So maybe somewhat like that here. So the crescent shapes would be curved like that on this side, and on this side there will be curved on the opposite side. And also there will be some shapes, if I just zoom in a bit, so they will have double shapes like that. For example, this one will be here, and a small crescent shape branch will be coming out from this location, and I'm going to fill it with the white color like that. So this is what I'm going to create on the lower side, and I'm just going to speed up the process for you now. So you see I have created some kind of like a shiny look, or more, make it more like you can say hair. It's not just a silhouette now, it's more like strands of hair, and you get the idea what I mean. So the same thing that I have done here, I am going to do with this bun area. But the thing is that you can see that there are two just ways we can do. We have made them move slightly bent on this side, and on this side we have made them bent on the other side. But for this bun area I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make it more a little bit slightly complex, because I want to show that these groups of hair are just bent in a different way or tied in a different way. So on this top area I'm going to make it look they are in this direction, this one like that. And on this one I'm going to make it on this area I'm going to make it look like it's going on this direction, something like that here, and maybe a little bit more here. And on the other hand, on this location what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it slightly here at the top, so we don't want to have some kind of repetition on the bun area and on the bottom area. And maybe you can create some multiple branches of it here, somewhat like that, just like that. to, because they are just much more closer here, so their branches are tied or something like that. So you get the idea, and I'm just going to speed up the process again to just save the time in this tutorial. So I'll see you after that. Okay guys, this is ready now, and you get the idea how I created this kind of shape. Now it's more looking like a bun shape or messy kind of hair, and that's what we wanted in our design. Now one thing again we can do is slightly work on these strands coming from this lower area to just make it more look cute. So I'm just going to select this one, just lock this up. So I'm going to select this group, ungroup it, and slightly make it more thinner, these strands, because currently they are much more thick and they don't look like as close to the hair that the natural type of look. So we are going to make them slightly thinner, give them somewhat like that look, kind of look, and maybe make this area a little bit more rounded kind of thing, not as you can say that as it is now at this point. So somewhat like that, maybe move it here. This looks fine, and we need to move these strands up because we have shifted the area down below. So I'm just going to move this one a little bit up here as well, maybe slightly rotate it. That looks fine. So maybe just make it a little bit thinner. This is looking fine, and maybe again this one should also be a little thin, like that. I think that looks fine. This strand is coming too far, we do not want that. And again we need to fix these strands a little bit, just cleaning up to make it look more natural and make it look a little bit, you can say, much prettier. So guys, I'm just satisfied with this design, so I'm just going to group it and maybe add a few more white areas on this area, and maybe somewhat like that here, and a little bit on these locations to give them more kind of like a mesh style look. I think that looks fine, and maybe make it move it up there. So it's just a process of creating these things until you are satisfied with the design. I think that looks fine, and I'm not going to work much on that. So guys, our design is ready and you can definitely use it, but I would recommend to slightly work on it. I might work on it on this area to make these come more on in this location, but that's a separate thing. But now what I am going want to show you is to create kind of like a bandana shape on this location between the bun and the top here. So for that purpose I'm going to use this pen tool again, and I'm just going to roughly create a bandana shape. Maybe it comes from here's location, moves on this location, and at this location is somewhat like that. And let's just fill it maybe any plain color, think pinkish reddish. I think that looks fine, and I'm going to just copy this one flip it horizontally and move it on this location and adjust its position here, and slightly move this one on the inner side here as well, somewhat like that. Maybe move it like that on this location. So this is just a rough style of kind of bandana tied here, and I'm going to create a knot here, slightly more bulgy style thing. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is, you can say that, a rough in non-geometric type of material. And then I'm going to do is to create some kind of like cloth, what it's called, I'm not sure what it is called, but you get the idea, coming out of this location, and another one, just another one coming out of this location as well. That looks fine. Maybe slightly like that, make it thicker, more like a leaf, and you get the idea what I mean. So yeah, that looks fine. Maybe make these one a little bigger like that. I think that looks fine. And what I'm going to do next is to create kind of like similar type of, as we have created these white strands or white lines, we're going to create the same thing, but instead of white we are going to create we are going to make them black. So before I do that, I'm just going to group these together, lock it up, and the idea of creating these black lines here is to show that this is kind of like a folded at some location. For example, like that, it's has some folds here, make them black, and maybe slightly create of this bulge area, kind of like a knot, you know, like that, and maybe somewhat location on this side as well. Maybe slightly make this one kind of folded area on this side as well. And on this location I'm just going to create a couple of more to make them look like you can say shadow type style thing, and see if that works. How does it look, you know, just to create something like that. Maybe in this location fill it with black color, and on this one I'm just again going to create kind of like a fold style look on this one, maybe slightly here, and make it bigger on this side, fill it with black color again, try to attach it to this one, and try to make somewhat on the inner side as well, and, you know, give it kind of like a multiple folds style look. And I'm just going to make somewhat on this location to show that it's a separate piece, not the same piece. And I'm just going to select these, maybe slightly thinner like that. I think that looks fine, and we can again come and fix these if we feel like we need to fix these kind of things, or these kind of, you know, lines or fold style looks. So again, yeah, I'm going to make this one look like a separate piece, and somewhat like that here. Again, make it look like separate, not separate piece, but kind of like having a fold on this location. I think that looks fine. We might need to create a folded style on this back area as well, you know, so as natural we can make it look, we should do it. So guys, I'm just going to stop at this for now. So you get the idea, it's more looking like a 3D style of bandana. I might work on it later on to give it more natural look. But just for the simplicity of the tutorial, this is how it would look. And as you can already see that it's looking pretty good at this point. Next we are going to create some kind of let's just say create a kind of eyebrows here. So that's pretty simple. Thinner at this location and slightly thicker here at this location. That looks fine. I'll just fill it with black color, and I think that looks fine here. So I'm just going to copy it on the other side, but before I do that I'm just going to create some kind of eyelashes here, just closed style eye look like that. Fill it with black color, and you can leave it as it, but if you want to create some kind of eyelashes style thing, you can simply do it. It's just a matter of spending some time and seeing how that would look. So as you can see that it's pretty simple, as it's not kind of a geometric shape, so we don't have to worry about the kind of like a perfect looking thing. So I'm just going to make it rough and see if that's work. If it works and if I like it, I might keep it, and if I don't like it, I will just remove it. Just fill the work black color. I think that looks fine. I need to adjust this eyebrow a little bit, make it more thicker here, and somewhat like that. I think that looks fine. Yeah, this is looking fine. Just adjusting it a little bit to my likeness, which of course is subjective and you can do it as you would like. Okay, this is looking fine, so I'm just going to group it together, copy it, flip it, and move it on the other side. So let's just move it at this location, and I think that looks fine. The spacing need to be decreased a little bit like that, and then make it bigger. I think that looks fine. So guys, you can see that this is looking much better, and if I want to adjust it a little bit more, so make this one a little bit slightly bigger, I can easily do it. I think that will look much better and much more like it. So one thing I can do is select these shapes, and I'm going to just make it more on the inside, so like that here, this location. It gives us more kind of like a beautiful style face look, so maybe move them a little bit down on this location as well. The rest you can do is to adjust, you can say that these stands, individual stands, and depending upon your likeness. So guys, our messy hairstyle look is ready, and if you want to slightly work on it, you can definitely do it, but I'm not going to do it, spend much time on it, and that's all how it is. So if you want to, maybe create or add some kind of patterns on these kind of bandana, I'll just quickly show you how you can easily do it. So let's see, I just want to create some kind of like polka dot style pattern. So the process is the same for everything. So I'm just going to create a little bit pattern here. So I'm just going to move it here, create a copy of this one, move it slightly here, and then press Ctrl J a couple of times to create this kind of like a pattern style thing look. And I'm just going to move on this location, so do not accidentally mess that up. So I have created this one, so I'm just going to create a copy of this one, move it on this location slightly, somewhat like that, create a copy of these, press Ctrl J and move them down a bit. So press Ctrl J a couple of times to create this kind of like dotted look, and I'm then going to fill it with white color, group them together. Now if you want to fill this bandana with any kind of pattern, what I would recommend is that select this bandana shape, the basic shape, create a copy of it and hide the bottom one, because if we want to make changes we can easily make changes to the original. So I'm going to select this top one, select all of these, and at the top I'm going to just add them together. So this will give us a simple curve shape. So I'm going to select these dots, put them here at this location on the bandana and like that, and then make it a child of our curve. And that's how I got a kind of like a pattern style look. The same way you can add those leopard or cheetah style patterns, rainbow, or anything that totally depends upon you. So I'm just going to select all of this, make it much bigger for you to see, and if you want to make them wearing sunglasses you can easily do that. So one thing that you would see that the strands that we created were actually white and the background is also white. So what happens if I just make the background maybe blue or some other color? So let me show you a problem that will arise and how to fix that. So if I just make it blue, or let's maybe make it greenish, something like that. So you can see that our strands are still white. So if you want to fix that, what you would do is that select these both strands, ones and the ones at the over the head. So just group them together and then group the bottom one, the bun, and the top here, group that together. Select the top group and make its blend mode raise. So once you change the blend mode to a raise, it does not you do not see any kind of effect. But if you select that one and the bottom here one and then group them together, you can easily see that now you have that erased effect. Now if I change the background, so blue or any other thing, that color will also change. Actually that's a see-through, so the color is not changing, it's actually a see-through, so the background will appear. So it will help you see how your design will look on different types of colored fabric. So guys, that's how you can easily create this kind of messy bun style look. And if you want to work on it, make it much more cuter, so just make it slightly rounder on this location on the forehead. That totally depends upon you, but as I had to save some time on this tutorial, so that's how it looks and I'm pretty much satisfied with it. I might add sunglasses to it and then use it in my t-shirt design. So guys, that's how you can easily create this kind of complex design inside Affinity Designer. Now if you have found this tutorial to be useful and inspiring, make sure that you like the video. It will help me with the YouTube algorithm, and if you are interested in more content like that, you can subscribe to this channel. It's totally free, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.